Good evening, brothers and sisters. I'm
This storm right here is not doing very well. The one over here obviously is the dominant storm.
okay.
We got this
I started to say there for a minute, I'm looking like an Amish, and I'm not Amish at all.
We're gonna hop back.
I don't know what it was about.
Take a look up towards
Anyway,
Nebraska. See what's going on up here for a minute. Yeah, not really much is going on.
I had something kind of funny that happened to me just a while ago, and I went into the kitchen and I grabbed. Let me turn this volume down on this TV. Give me a moment, please. There's a lot of damage and there's a lot of damage and winds. You know, if you look right here, that right there is new guy. I mean, he's not new. He's been there for a while. But it's the first time I ever saw him was last night. And anyway, he was telling about storms hitting different areas and all that stuff. And I know I was laying in there in bed around 1 or 2 this morning, and I was waiting on that the thunder and stuff to keep going. I just love a thunderstorm. I do. When I was younger, I mean, I was scared of it, but now I just love to hear thunder and lightning, you know. And I love to hear thunder and love to hit lightning. Oh my goodness, I'm not the brightest bird in the patch, but anyway. I was coming, this is what funny had happened to me. I was coming out of the kitchen. I had just took our dinner dishes back in there to put them in the sink. And what's for dinner at the birthday house? I had ramen noodles, chicken ramen noodles, and Jason had macaroni and cheese. That's our dinner today. Something simple, because I have been busting my butt off for the last 3 days. Every time I think I'm going to stop, I end up finding something else to do. So today I have finally said it's time for me to just say no and just, you know, take it easy. I was coming out of the kitchen. I had a bottle of Zero 7-Up. And as soon as I went across the threshold of the kitchen and went down in the living room, I was on the screen up thinking, this thing has hardly any, any pressure going off from it. It's froze solid for one thing, and I got not even all the way down to it. That sucker's lid flew up in the air. It went boom like that, splash pop in my eye, and I was like, oh, and I just started laughing. And I went into the bedroom and changed my shirt and washed myself off not being sticky. And then I went and back in there in the dining room and used my my little new mop I got. It's a mop, looks like a dust mop, but it's got a sprayer on it. It's like $22 at Walmart.com and webpage and everything like that. And so anyway, I went over and mopped that. I got the old school classic Lysol in it. And Lord willing, I get paid this coming Thursday. I'm going to get, I'm getting the blue scented Pine Sol. Because I kind of want something different. I don't want it to always smell the same all the time, you know. But y'all like to see Bubby. The one I'm always saying, stop at and all that. Okay. Right there is Bubby. And if you wonder what's in the cup, that is orange juice. And then no, he did not get it from Subway. Down here is Precious. As you can see, let me see here. This dog is so funny. Raise your head up, baby. Come on, raise your head up. This dog is so funny. Come up here a minute. Okay, now. Look at there. Say, look at him. Would you look at him, please? Say, hello, it's me. There you go. Hello, it's me. I give you all a kiss. I give you kisses. Mm-hmm. All right, you can lay back down now. She is a funny dog. Last night when I was, all busy, I was taking everything apart in my bedroom, all the stuff off the shelves, laying it all on the bed. And the only thing I didn't move was technically the bed. Everything else in that room moved some way. I mean, I moved it totally around to get it the way I want it. The TV is on like a folding table so I can get my stand put together. So I go in there and I said, I had a thought, well, why don't I get the smaller table that's in the closet in the spare room? That was a job in itself, let me tell you. This is all God. God has given me the strength to do. And when I look around, I just say, thank you, God, thank you, God, thank you, God. Because my house is looking so pretty. And I redone my living room a little bit too. Living room and dining room are actually two different spots now because I put the big TV, as you can see right here. I put the big TV right in as a divider in the middle of the floor, and behind it is the dining room table. I mean table. And I think it's just awesome, you know. The way. It's like, you know, just sitting, sitting here and thinking. I'm trying not to think of anything to have to do to make the place look different, because I really worked a lot. I mean, I have a gift for decorating, like I could be an interior decorator if I could learn how to do my gift out, my gift of knowing how to do stuff. But my thing is, I know the way I would like it if it was mine, and the stuff I do belongs to me and Jason, so I pretty much do it the way I want to. And I mean, everything in this house is mine and Jason's. I mean, well, his chair is his chair. It was mine, but now it's his chair, and my chair is my chair. And I'm getting me a new chair because this chair, it's supposed to be a massage and recliner, but I got news for you guys. This thing does not massage anything. So I called another place I dealt with, and they got it's an oversized. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, you gotta be kidding me. It looked just like the one I used to have that I called, well, not the collar, but it's the one I used to call the Cece chair. Oh, that chair was so comfortable. But then it got to where the board on the bottom of it was hurting my back too. But this is what was funny about that one. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I lived in an apartment complex back at that time, which was back like in 2000, I want to say 2013, 14. And I was getting ready to get some other recliners, and I was going to get rid of those ones. And one of my friends said, she said, well, if you're getting rid of she said, I'll take it. I'll take her. I said, you can have her, just like that. So she took her. And my manager, it was her name, Cece. That's why we called it the Cece chair. And so Cece went all over the place. Cece, the chair, went all over the place because Cece, the person, Sheila, she was our manager of our apartments, which she was like, even though she's only like 10 years older than I am, she literally was like a mother to me. She told me when I was planning on marrying a certain person, and that's the one that came here and lived with me and messed my life up, my house up, and everything else. But thank God, he got them out. Then he opened the doors to get me some help in here. Help that works, I met this person done a lot of stuff for me. And I done this other stuff myself because I wanted to do it, And it's all God. When you pray and ask God for strength, if it's meant to be, you will have that strength to do stuff. I mean, I love it. I loved I loved every single minute of it. I can't help but to say that, because it was very important to me that I have that comfort. Sorry, I was drinking some ice water. But I wanted to also tell you guys, I did a little video earlier, but I thought, nah, it didn't feel right. So I wanted to just, I guess, take it down. I mean, not even put it up, I deleted it. Ooh, excuse me, I was yawning. I got a pretty good sleep last night, but I did get up around 8 something this morning. I fell asleep around about probably at 12 or so. And I'm telling you, I slept like a baby. But I remember sometime this morning.
Don't know how to pronounce this.
Wasn't long after that I got up and went to the bathroom, but before that I was laying in the bed. And I was asleep.
That is the threshold.
It was like I heard someone call my name.
Has to be 58
No, Jason does not talk, so it wasn't him calling my name. I think, yeah, when I went into the bathroom, he was sound asleep in his bed. And our bedrooms are like, when I come down the hallway to go to the bathroom, I can look straight over into where his bed is. And I was laying in there in my bed. Had the blankets on, like right through my chest, and and over like around my neck there. But my legs have to be out. I can't stand it. And there's sometimes I can cover them too. But I didn't have them covered last night. So anyway, I'm so sorry I'm yawning like that. I think it might be gas, and that's true. I've heard that yawning can be brought out in gas. I don't know about that because it don't make no noise and it don't stink. Hey, if that's the truth, then everybody should just yawn to get rid of gas. But anyway, as I was laying in bed, I heard my name being called. I was asleep, but I heard my name being called, and it felt like my spirit was trying to leave my body. Like the rapture's close, and I honestly, I know that it happened probably about six or 7 months ago to me before, and after that it was like my body. When I went to the bathroom, went back to bed, I could flip over and stuff, but I had to watch the way I put my legs because I would get a Charlie horse either like in the back of my. If I stopped what I was doing, it didn't come through, and that's why I'm trying to get these muscle relaxers and stuff from my doctor because, anytime I work, it does make my muscles and stuff hurt. But yeah, I mean, I did really. I just felt like I wanted to share that with y'all because it's kind of like a rapture type thing if you think about it. Your spirit leaving, but I know our whole body goes, but we're turned into our glorified bodies as we go up to meet Jesus in the air. And what I was thinking was like when we go up, if we got our new bodies. All that means is we still, we don't have the same body. We're flesh and bones, not flesh and blood, from what I've understood. And it's like poof in a twinkling of an eye. And when we get up over Christ, time will be no more. Yeah, that's nice. There's.
How long will the stream go on? I have no idea. I'm going to try to stream as much as I can. Knowing me, I'll probably split up into 2 different live streams.
I just kind of know that, I wanted to share that with y'all. And talking about yawning, I have another funny thing for y'all guys. And I'm surprised I even remember this. I was probably about 8 or 9 years old when this happened. I'd say more likely 8. Jason wasn't, very old at this point. And we had this friend who was like, me, my brother, and his already dearly departed friend Greg Bryant. We all spent the night with her at her house. Me and Dorothy and her daughter was all laying in the bed, and Chuck and Greg were sleeping in the baby bed. We weren't big at all like we are, like we would. We weren't big like we was as a teenager. It was before. I think Chuck may have been about 11, 12 years old, and Greg was probably about 9 or 10 years old. And he got up in that there bed. Him and Chuck did, and they slept in that baby, and it held him. I was like totally shocked. I didn't try. I was smaller than both of them, and both of them got in. I was like, oh, okay. Anyway, we're all laying down there, and my grandpa is upstairs. I would say it was probably about, more than likely I'd say it was after midnight. But I remember we had all went to Pizza Hut for dinner with her. She took us all out to Pizza Hut to treat us to stuff, and we were having fun sleigh riding and all that stuff. And she was just one of a kind person. She was older. I'd say she probably was like in her 40s, late 30s, early 40s, mid 40s. And we had a blast with her. We had a wonderful fun time. She sleigh riding with us on a commode lid. Done pretty good in the snow. Back then you got enough snow. Now I wouldn't even try that because you'd probably end up hitting a patch of ice and cut your hoo-ha mana quinto so, you know, you don't want to do that. But anyway, like I was going to say, she was laying there in bed, and all of a sudden she lets out this yawn. I mean, it was like real loud. Like I'll do it, not a loud one like her, but she went, ooh, only real loud. Okay. And my grandpa said something. We heard him say it. I don't know what he was saying, but he probably said something like Shamu down there making noise, not knowing that we could hear him through the floor. But she didn't hear what he said. None of us could make out what he was saying except for down there, meaning down in the basement of the house. And it was so funny. I mean, I had never ever heard anybody yawn that loud, but she did, and it was just a time in my childhood. You know, as I was telling that, I got the feeling back of what I was feeling that night. It was raining, and she had one of those. It's back in the 70s. She had like one of those car trucks, you know, let cars or something like that, where you have like your front end with your passengers. You know, your front cab part is the front of the car. You have the you have the front. Well, back then mostly it was bench seats in about all of the cars, and you have one of those where we all fit in. Her daughter, or wait a minute, was her daughter even there? Her daughter may have been at her grandma's and grandpa's. I don't remember. Maybe not though. But anyhow, we know the grandparents too. Me and my grandma, Lil. We used to yard sale along the road beside them all the time, and it was so funny. Grandma's name was Maxine, and the grandfather's name, which was her mom and dad, and the grandfather's name was Charles Green. But Grandma Leo always used to tell me he was getting ready to leave. She'd say, "Burn rubber there, Green," and he would take off burning rubber with his tires. And she would look at him. His wife was looking at him like, "If I could get across this seat, I'd slap you silly." But one time they were putting up this tent, and me and Grandma had already got our stuff out, and we were sitting in the car where it was cool. Well, with the wind blowing, it was kind of cool. It wasn't a real hot day, but we could see over there where they were at, and Grandma looked at me and she goes, "Look over there." I said, "Where?" I look right over, and there is Miss Green, Maxine. She's in the middle where the pole goes up in the middle of the tent thing, or whatever, awning, or what it was. And she was tinkering with that, trying to get it to stay up. And he's over on the other side. It looked like he'd already had all the other sides up. He was on right behind her where she was bent over, and her butt was, her butt was bent. She bent over, you could see her. Not see her butt, but you could see her butt in the pants, I'll put it that way. So anyway, she's sitting there trying to get this done and make sure it stays up. All of a sudden, Mr. Green was bad about getting mad. I think he needed anger management. Never got it, but he needed it. Anyway, he lets go of the pole, and it hits her right in the crack of the shawaka in her butt. And all of a sudden, she goes, "Daddy, what are you doing to Mommy?" And I lost it. I honestly lost it. It was just too funny for me. But those times, I remember looking like the night that we stayed with their daughter Dorothy, which we did not know them when we met Dorothy. But anyway, there was
Let's see here. Tori with a $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Tori, for supporting us again. Right at it again, Tori. Thank you. Saying thank you for everything you do. Keep us updated. Tori, you are very welcome.
anyway, you know, these people
It really helps out, y'all. It helps out with
that night was like, you know,
programs up and running, y'all. Thank you so much.
they were like,
Really appreciate it.
they were just funny people. Now, and it could have been that the kid was with the other side, the paternal
Really appreciate it.
grandparents. Anyway, like I was saying, wow.
1.5 inch hail being reported up in the extreme northeast panhandle of Texas.
The
For Wolf Creek Park,
well, that night anyway. So
Texas.
there was like something that happened outside somewhere, and of course, my brother Chuck, he was always one to run and check to see, because he later became a part of the the town fire department. He used to call them chimney savers. I said, well, I guess that means what you'll be saving is chimneys. Last time I saw one they put out, there was just a chimney left there, so I don't know. But I've watched quite a few of them too on TV, and they're like, it shows where they're like sitting there, and you're thinking, why don't you spray the fire? It's because they got to work out where the most dangerous spots are, so they don't hit one of them and make it backfire real bad. I mean, there is a lot of stuff that you would not think about. But anyway, brothers and sisters, I'm hoping that you guys had a wonderful Sunday. That dream or whatever it was I had about me hearing my name, and then I felt like I was getting jerked out of my body. And I remember there was like fur or something around me. I don't know what it was about. So, but anyway, just keep looking up. Jesus is coming soon. It could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. It could be next month, or it could be next year. But the thing is, you need to be ready now. Call upon His name while there's still time for you to receive the only way into heaven. Jesus is the key. Let someone plant the seed of the word in your heart today. You need to get right with God while there's still time. Yes, I got on here and I talked about my personal travels through life, but when it comes right down to it, you need to be ready for the Lord. We can still have thoughts, even at, thoughts and memories of our past that we can share at times when we feel like it. And honestly, I did feel the very feelings that I felt that night when we were like, sitting in the bedroom. We was already in the house, and the fire alarm went off, or the fire truck's going by, so naturally Chuck and him went out the door to go check to see what it was, and they came back, and it was a car wreck, which, even back then they weren't going to let no little kids help them, so they just went and looked and come right back. And I used to say, well, my big brother's up there somewhere, I don't know where, but my big brother's up there. Look for the doofus and you got me, brother. And I'm going to leave the latest picture of my baby girl as a thumbnail, if I can remember how to do it. She was sitting in the chair when I got up to go into the kitchen and run our dishes and everything in there. She was sitting in the chair just the way you had to see it. I love you all. Keep looking up. Jesus is coming. God bless you all. Till next time, or see you in the clouds with Jesus. God bless you, Lord willing. I'll see you next time. God bless.